It follows you into the kitchen. It follows you to the living room. It follows you all the way to the bathroom door. Even when you just stand up and take one step, it is already waddling behind you. And what do you think? Oh, it is bored. Oh, it is curious. Oh, it just likes following me for fun. No. And if you keep reacting with, "This is annoying, go somewhere else," you may be shutting down a very important way it communicates. A kind of communication it cannot express with words, so it can only use its body to speak, because following you around sounds small. It looks funny. There are lots of memes about it, but for cats, this is one of the most emotional behaviors they can show you. It does not just randomly walk behind you like a shadow, it chooses to do that. And the most worrying part is, most owners completely misunderstand it. So they miss the signals their cat has been trying to send for months, even years. Now let's uncover the real meaning behind this following behavior. Most people think the exact same thing. It is bored, so it follows me. It is just curious. It is clingy and annoying. Or the simplest one. It wants food. That sounds reasonable, right? But this is where most cat owners get it wrong, because if it were just bored, then it would be bored all day. It has plenty of places to lie down. The sofa, the windowsill, a cool corner in the room, a cardboard box, the cushion at the end of the bed. It can sleep anywhere. It can play by itself. It can even stare at the wall for an hour without getting tired of it. If it were just curiosity, then it would show it in a different way. It would come over, look for a moment, then leave. It would not need to stay right behind you with every step, like it is afraid of losing you. And if you think it is asking for food, then pay close attention. A cat that wants food is usually very clear about it. It shows up most strongly around feeding time. It circles around the bowl. It looks toward the kitchen. It reminds you. But this kind of following happens even when you are not holding anything. You go get water, you clean up, you change clothes, you stand still in one place. It still stays close. So what is the real question? If it is not because of boredom, not because of curiosity, and not because of food, then why does it still choose to follow you step by step? Because following you around is not a meaningless habit. It is a choice. And here is the part that surprises many people. A cat does not choose to stay close to something it does not see as important. It does not give its time and attention just to put on a show. It follows because, in its mind, there is a reason. Sometimes that reason is very sweet. Sometimes it is very deep. And sometimes it is a signal you should not ignore. And there is one thing you really need to hear carefully. If your cat used to follow you everywhere, every day, and then suddenly stops completely, do not rush to think, "Oh, it is less clingy now, that is easier." It is not that simple. For cats, a big change in a habit like that is often a message, and if you ignore it, you may miss exactly what it is trying to tell you. At the end of the video, I will explain the 3 most common reasons why a cat suddenly stops following, and what you should watch for to understand what it wants. But for now, let's start decoding the 7 layers of meaning behind this following behavior. Let's begin with the first one. First, you are its moving, safe place. That may sound a little strange, but think about it. In a cat's mind, safety is not the room. It is not the chair. It is not a corner of the house. Safety is whatever helps it relax. So, when it follows you step by step, it means it is carrying that safe zone around the house with you. You stand in the kitchen, and it stays nearby. You walk into another room, and it follows behind. You sit down, and it lies down at a comfortable distance. Not to bother you, but so it can lower its guard while still keeping the right distance. A cat will not place itself close to something it does not trust. It will not stay near something that makes it uneasy. So if it follows you like a shadow, that is not just clinginess, it is saying, "When I am near you, I feel okay." And from that feeling of safety comes the second meaning. Second, it is syncing with you and keeping a connection. Many people think cats are independent, that they like being alone, that they do not need anyone. But the truth is, once a cat becomes attached to you, it wants to keep you within its contact range. It does not follow you just to see what you are doing. It follows to stay in rhythm with you. You walk, it walks. You stop, it stops. You change rooms, it changes rooms too. It is creating an invisible thread between the two of you, as if it is saying, "I am still here. You are still here. We are still moving together." And this shows up most clearly in small moments. when you get ready for work in the morning, when you cook at night, or even when you just go get some water. It does not need you to do anything for it. It just needs to be in the same rhythm of life with you. If this part feels exactly like your cat, like, wow, my cat does this too, then hit like and subscribe to the channel, especially if your cat has ever followed you into the bathroom and you had to pretend to stay calm. Just one click. It helps this video reach more cat owners who really want to understand their cats better. Third, it thinks it is your bodyguard. This sounds funny, but it is very real. Some cats follow you not because they are weak, but because, in their mind, they are doing a job. Pay attention, and you will see it. Sometimes it does not walk right next to your feet. Sometimes it walks a little to the side, like it is escorting you. Sometimes it walks a little ahead, like it is leading the way. Sometimes it stays behind, like it is checking your back. And sometimes it stops at one spot, looks around, then continues following. It is scanning the environment with you. It is watching things you do not notice. In its mind, you are the center of this territory. So if you move, it needs to make sure everything is still okay. Maybe it is not truly protecting you from real danger, but in its instinct, it is standing guard. It is saying, this human is mine. I need to go with them. And from guarding the environment, it moves to something even deeper. Fourth, it is reading your mood by staying close. You may think your cat does not notice, but it notices more than you think. It reads your rhythm through very small things. The way you walk, the way you breathe, the way you stand still or move restlessly, the way you open a cabinet softly or hard. When your energy changes, it can feel it. So when it follows you, it is collecting data. That sounds strange, but it is true. It is gathering your daily baseline. It learns how you normally move, how you normally speak, whether you are tense, whether you are in a hurry. That is why on some days, when you are tired, it suddenly stays even closer. You may not realize that you are stressed yet, but it already does. It is not magic. It is just close enough for long enough to notice when you are not acting like usual. And once it notices that something is off, it often does one more thing. Fifth, it wants you to keep the familiar feeling the same. Some days, you come home after being out, you change clothes, you change your routine, you become busier than usual, and suddenly, your cat follows you more closely. It is not just curious, it is checking. It needs to make sure everything is still the way it knows, that you are still you in its little world, that in its territory, the familiar feeling is still there, because for cats, familiarity means safety. And change, even a small change, can make them alert. So it follows you as a way to hold on to that stable feeling, as if it is telling itself, okay, everything is still fine, this person is still here. And from keeping things familiar, it moves to a meaning that many people find a little emotional. Sixth, it is changing its routine to match yours. It does not have to follow you. It has its own schedule. It has its own world. But when it follows you during the times you are active, that means it is choosing to be with you. You wake up, it wakes up. You move around the house, it follows. You start to slow down, and it slows down too. Little by little, its schedule begins to turn around your schedule. Not because it is forced to, but because it wants to be part of your daily life as much as possible. That sounds simple, but think about it for 1 second. An animal that normally lives by its own instincts is adjusting its habits just to stay closer to you. That is no longer just clingy. That is attachment. But then there is one last meaning. The one that makes you feel both touched and a little worried. Seventh, sometimes it follows you because it is afraid of being left behind. Not every cat is like this. But some cats follow you because they need an anchor. They need to know you are still there. They need to know they are not being left alone. You step out of the room and it follows. You close the door and it waits outside. You go farther away and it runs after you even faster. Not to cause trouble, but to reduce that empty feeling. And this is where many people handle it the wrong way. They yell. They push the cat away. They get annoyed. They think it is being a nuisance. But what it may really need is just a small signal of safety. One moment where you look at it. One moment of your presence. And now the most important question is this. If a cat used to follow you like that, used to match its life with yours like that, and then suddenly stops following, what does that mean? That is when you really need to listen carefully. If one day it stops following you, listen carefully. A cat that used to follow you step by step, that used to match your daily rhythm like a shadow suddenly stops. Suddenly it stays in one corner. Suddenly it avoids you. Suddenly you walk out of the room and it does not even lift its head. Do not comfort yourself by thinking, "Great, it is not bothering me anymore." That is not what it means. Because when a cat breaks a big habit like that, it is usually trying to tell you something. Sometimes the reason is physical. Something hurts. It feels uncomfortable. It is tired. And when a cat does not feel well, its instinct is often to pull away, to become quieter, to stay alone more. Sometimes it is the environment. A small change for you can be a big change for your cat. The daily routine changes, the space changes. Something no longer makes it feel safe enough to follow you like before. And sometimes it is emotional. Something happened that made it pull back. One moment of fear. One stressful experience. One moment when it no longer felt sure. So it chooses to protect itself by not staying close anymore. The most important thing is this. It is not being dramatic or sulking. It is communicating. And if you ignore it, you may miss the exact moment when it needs you to understand it most. So next time it follows you, do not just laugh and walk away. See it as a message. A way of saying, "I am choosing you." And let me ask you just one question. When does your cat follow you the most? In the kitchen, when you come home, or at the exact moment you walk into the bathroom?